So and welcome back to another episode of me talking about recreators. And good lord, it was a great episode with some funny lines and some more serious lines about the entire setup of this show, with the fictional characters coming to the real world and experiencing the changes from their world they used to know. And to be honest, the ending of this episode was so good. Good lord. I really enjoyed it. From the animation, to the music, to the characters doing their stuff. The original creator of the Vogel Cavalier novel series and his reaction to seeing the real deal of his character coming to life was really entertaining and funny in its own way, even though he was actually afraid, scared, shocked by it. And I mean, at first, you would think of it as a really good cosplay. But then, seeing that this is actually the real deal, you are shocked, because you created this, you know how this character is, but then there's this new thing with your own intentions, and they are coming to life. And this is what made this so good to see in this episode, was their interactions. And also with the new characters from the stories, the magical girl and the final boss, aka main antagonist of a manga series. Holy mother. This was great. But let's jump back to the beginning. We are back in the room of Sota, and with him is Meteora and Celesia. Well, the main heroine, Celesia. At least this is what Wikipedia says, or so. Well, let's just go with this girl. And it's really funny when they were talking about and looking at his shelf, and Meteora was like, "Are you creating a story, or are you a creator?" And he was like, no. And then it's coming to light that to them that he has drawn, and he said that he didn't do it in a while. And then going forth with the creating thing, that this stuff, games, novels, all this kind of things are used as references to create a new story. And I really think that this is really relatable. I mean, if you are young, you want to create a story, not being a professional writer or something like this, but back in your young days, and then you are like, well, okay, let's go on and create a story. And it's obvious that for once you use your own fantasy, but on the other side, you're using stories that actually are existing as a reference. Getting some ideas, getting how to set up a plot or a world or characters, even though that they are new characters, but who are having some things to base on. Be it the description, how they look with some variations, or the personalities, or some stuff like that. Or if you're really, really good, you're just using your own imagination, but this brings us back to the point that even your imagination is based on what you already know. And even if you're trying to go in the opposite direction, it's still a thing that was given to you by something you already know. Be it something I wanted to be like this, or the polar opposite. And I really think that nails it with this episode, with all his stuff, and then the scene from episode 1 where he was going on and trying to draw a picture or an illustration, to say it like this. And good lord, this was really, really something, considering when he was using Google to look up the creators for Meteora and for Silesia. And when he was on that internet site of the anime version of it, and there was this key visual, and instantly Silesia's expression changed, and he was like, what's wrong? And she was suddenly like, well, yeah, picture this being recorded and being looked at 24 hours a day without knowing it. So yeah, it is really, really interesting to see these fictional characters becoming real in this story and reacting to their own stories from another perspective. I mean, it would be really, really strange, such a strange feeling, if I would go somewhere and then there's my story of my life and all this kind of stuff, and everyone can just look it up and read it and watch a series about it or a movie or whatever, and a really, really strange and scary feeling. I will be honest here. And then, after looking up the creators for the girls, Silesia goes and she is making a picture of herself and sending an email to the actual writer. And at first, obviously, he thought that this was a really, really good cosplay. And then he learns that she is the real deal, the one he created. And this moment, it was so good. It was, on one side, satisfying. It was giving me the feeling of, oh good lord, this would be so strange if this happened to me. Oh my gosh. And then there's the new girl, the magical girl, showing up, and she is very surprised that a lot of the people there know her name and or her true identity. And when she is meeting with the others, the writer of the novel was like, oh, you are that magical girl slayer, or magical slayer, that Mao shoujo basically. And she's like, oh, even someone old like you knows me. So this reaction was one of the funny scenes that made me laugh. And then the magical girl, coming from her own world, basically starting a fight with Silesia for basically the reason that Silesia didn't agree with her. So she started a fight and damaged the building. Meteora saved the people from the falling parts of the building. And the magical girl used this one big hard attack and crushed Silesia into the ground. And then she realized that this is strange. Something's not right. Because in her own world, there was never blood. And yet, in this world, her attack really, really hurt Silesia. So she was shocked about this outcome. But then Silesia was going on with, well, if you're doing it in the name of justice, then don't just chase some stupid ideals. And this was something really, really funny. And she also said that if you're doing it, follow it through to the end. I mean, it's so spot on. It's really, really good. And it maybe sounds strange, but I think it's a good point. And there, at first I thought, okay, maybe that magical girl will now hold back because she said she didn't want to fight, but with Silesia disagreeing with her and going to continue, that magical girl starts another big attack and it was stopped. So we have now the appearance of a new manga, that the new character that showed up is not the protagonist but the main antagonist. And he said he is pretty strong, at least in his own world. So yeah, I'm really, really curious to see where this show is going. There's still the possibility that this could go downhill, but for now, it's one of the best shows of this season. I'm really enjoying it, and good lord, I'm really looking forward to see the next episode. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.